You might have heard about QHD, Full HD, 4K, 8K and all, right? What are they? Is there a limit to the resolution that your eye can comprehend? Let's talk about that. Welcome to my channel. You did not leave at the side of my face. That determined, right? Well, I'll try to make it as simple as possible. First of all, let's see how a display works. These display screens you see all around you are made up of very tiny dots that are called pixels. These pixels are capable of changing color, and when you zoom out, they join together to form up the image that you see. So what is screen resolution? Screen resolution is the measure of number of pixels a screen can display. Usually it is measured by width and height. For example, if a screen has 1280 pixels horizontally and 720 vertically, that screen would have a resolution of 1280 by 720. Simple, right? But the important thing to note is that the resolution has very less to do with the physical size of the screen. That is, if you have a 32-inch TV and a 5.99-inch smartphone, while the TV has 1280 by 720 pixels, the phone could have up to 1080 by 2160 pixels, and it applies vice versa. This can be easily understood with reference to weight and volume. Consider an iron ball and a sponge ball, both having the same shape. You can imagine which has more weight, right? This means that the size of the screen and the resolution of the screen are not interdependent. I think for starters that has given you a rough idea. So please don't forget to leave your like or dislike in this video, and also feel free to comment your thoughts. Now let's go to terms and numbers regarding resolution. First of all, let's take an industrial standard Full HD 1080p display monitor. This display has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. This means that the screen will have a width of 1920 pixels while the height of the screen will be 1080 pixels. The result is a grand total of 20,73,600 pixels on screen. Wow, that many pixels, right? So how does it affect what's displayed on the screen? That is, in simple words, is there a relationship between the quality of the image and the number of pixels? We do know for a fact that the quality of the image being displayed on the screen can only depend on two things. One, what is being shown. Two, how it's being shown. That is, the image and the display. The quality of the image is in itself a topic for another video. Let's now talk about how the quality of the image displayed is affected by the number of pixels in the display. Does having more pixels give you a better image? Well, yes, but there's a catch. A smartphone having 1080p display can have a crisp image, whereas a 50-inch screen having 1080p display might not be the same. That's where DPI or PPI comes into the picture. PPI or DPI is the indication of a monitor screen's pixel density. DPI or dots per inch is the measure of number of dots found within 1 inch line of a scan or print. A higher pixel intensity means that there are more pixels packed per square inch in your display. So with common sense we can deduce that with more pixels per inch we get a better picture, right? Well, yes, but there's a catch again. There is a limit to which our eye can comprehend. After a particular amount, the increase in pixel density won't affect us much. The difference is highly unnoticeable. I would say the range is from 400 dpi to 1000 dpi. It varies from people to people. But for a fact, the change from 400 to 500 is very huge compared to the change from 600 to 700 or 800 to 900. The exact limit of DPI that the human eye can comprehend is a highly debated topic now. Now let's see what are some common resolutions found in the market today. First of all, HD and Full HD. To start at the lower end, HD is high definition, and when the term first appeared in relation to television sets, it could mean anything with 720 rows of pixels and up. Typically that meant 1280 by 720 pixels. Full HD up that to 1080 rows and typical resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. In the early days of HD television, you would see reference to both 1080i and 1080p, interlaced and progressive. All television sets use the interlaced technology, where one frame would show the even lines of the picture and the next frame would show the odd lines, effectively dividing the number of frames by 2. 1080p, in contrast, draws the full picture for every frame and therefore is considered preferable. QHD, WQHD and 2K. Display resolutions didn't stay at Full HD for long, and the next step up the ladder was QHD, or Quad High Definition. It was 2560 by 1440 pixels, the standard for many flagship phones right now. You can fit 4 1280 by 720 pixel screens inside this QHD screen, which explains the name. It is highly debatable whether you can differentiate Full HD and Quad HD in a 6-inch smartphone. Well, it certainly looks better on a spec sheet, which may be why many manufacturers have gone for it. Interestingly, the same spec is widely referred to as WQHD, or Widescreen Quad High Definition, just to emphasize the 16:9 screen ratio. WQHD and QHD are actually referring to the same spec. Then there is 2K. The Digital Cinema Initiatives (DCI), a group of motion picture studios that creates standards for digital cinemas, defines standard DCI 2K resolution as 2048 by 1080 pixels. But when buying a PC monitor or a laptop, you will rarely see this resolution. More often you will find 2K displays as having 2560 by 1440 resolution. However, we know that's QHD, right? Basically, we can say that any display having the larger dimension more than 2000 pixels as 2K. However, because WQHD and QHD are half the height and the width of 4K, they are often labeled as 2K. So you got 3 terms for the same thing: 4K and UHD. 4K arrived as the cinema standard with 4096 by 2160 pixels, hence the 4K name. But in consumer electronics, it is morphed to mean 3840 by 2160 pixels. So there's no 4000 in the spec, but it is 4 times the size of a Full HD display. UHD, or Ultra High Definition, means the same thing. Many hardware makers put the 4K UHD brand into their models so that they cover up all the bases. While technically speaking, 2160p could also be used to mean both types of 4K and UHD. These resolutions are better off in higher size displays like TVs and all, but there are many manufacturers who have tried to put this in smartphones. Just remember, this has over 80 lakh pixels. Those are some of the most popular display resolutions out there, but the list is vast. I have a link to the Wikipedia page in the description where they list all of them. Other popular displays include 5K and 8K, but their viability and the need for them are still debatable. So that's all about screen resolution. Is there anything that I forgot to mention in this video? Please tell me down in the comments below. I'll be very happy to hear from you. Thanks for liking and commenting. Thanks for watching till now. I'm Bimal, and